Hello friends, I am Harpal Singh from Mind Global and I am the certified IELTS trainer from British Council as well as the IDP. Now today I am going to assess the answer of this particular type of question. So this is the task 2 of writing which is in front of you. This is from the IELTS book 7. It is in the general training questions. So let's see the topic. Some people prefer to live in a house while others feel that there are more advantages to living in an apartment. Are there more advantages than disadvantages of living in a house compared with living in an apartment? Now, as it is clear, it is an advantage versus disadvantage type of question. But you need to understand two things. One is that they're asking for your opinion. Are there more advantages than disadvantages? So that's one part. Second thing is that advantages than disadvantages of living in a house compared with living in an apartment. So what does it mean? It means that you have to talk about advantages and disadvantages both of living in a house as compared with living in an apartment. So you have to typically talk about four things. It is not simply advantages versus disadvantages, it is advantages versus disadvantages of one thing compared with advantages versus disadvantages of the other thing. So that is where I think a lot of students make some mistakes. So be careful about it, and let's see a reply of one of my students and we will then dissect it and understand how we can do that better. So this is the reply of one of the students. So he has made some notes about it. So let us read the answer. As always, I would request you to first pause the screen and read the answer, the full answer, and then we will read it in detail and understand step by step. Okay, so let's look at the introduction. With the rise in urbanization, the trend of living in apartments have picked up. So once again, let me clear that I will not be sharing about the grammar part right now. We can discuss it later. Okay. While there are pros and cons of both apartment and traditional house, in my view, a house still offers more advantages than disadvantages when compared with apartment. So the student, as I have marked it as yellow, has mentioned his or given his opinion that a house has more advantages. Okay, let's see what is written here in the first body paragraph. Among the biggest benefits which a house offers is the size. So that's the topic sentence. I have marked it in yellow. That means the student would like to talk about the benefits of a house. Okay, so first thing he's saying is he's explaining about the house, and then he's saying the prices are also under the reach. Okay, so that's the first point. Then he's talking about the flexibility and an example. Okay, and then there is the third benefit which says, okay, calm and peaceful surroundings. So we have first body paragraph which talks about advantages of living in a house in detail. So there are 3 points and all 3 are decently discussed or elaborated. Now let's look at the body para 2 which talks about the negatives of the house. So I have marked it in yellow, which is the topic sentence. A negative aspect of a house is the maintenance bit. I would say that it's a bit of informal use of language. We have to be a little more formal. We can use this more in the speaking test. Okay, so now this reddish type of color that I marked here, regular check and repairs are required specifically for pipe. So it's talking about the maintenance part. So and then surprisingly, the next part marked orange says that it is actually a counter to the problem which he has stated. So this is a bit of a problem for me. He should have, developed more about the disadvantage of the house. Now, after giving the disadvantage, he is saying it can be managed. So the reason or the purpose of this particular paragraph is to talk about the disadvantages only. This should not have come up. So that's a problem with the cohesion. Also, if we compare, see the advantages, it has been explained so much, and then when we come to the disadvantages, then only one sentence. So need to be careful about it. Okay, now it is the turn of apartments. Okay, so it is talking about advantages, security, facilities. Okay, and then coming to the disadvantage. But before that, I think these could have been a little more elaborated. Always remember that the points that you make have to be explained, not just stated. Okay, so the disadvantage is saying is the cost. So the disadvantage apartment is saying is the cost. So it is explaining why cost is high and all that stuff. And then the second point is that, okay, flexibility is not there. Now in conclusion, the student writes that while apartments are good choice if you have pressing security concern and can afford the towering costs of an apartment, however, for the masses, a house still offers a great value of money with few cons, making it a preferred choice over apartment. Okay, so he says that it is good if certain conditions are there, but for most of the people this is fine. I think this is a fine example of conclusion. It's fine. I think you can see the problems with the grammar over here, small things which may not impede the understanding, but yes, a lot of grammatical problems are there. All in all, I would say this essay can get you something around 6 to 6.5 if this is managed along with this. So then a student can get, say, about 7 plus this. Okay, so these three things I would repeat. One, this is explained too much, this is less explained, and then these two are also less explained. So if there is a balanced way of explaining things in all four things, advantages and disadvantages of both the things, then I think the student can score little higher. Also, kind of related vocabulary or the higher order English could have been used, so that could have made it a much better essay. Okay, so that's all. If you have any questions, please do write down in the comments. We will try to answer them, and if you want to take a mock test and you want our team to assess that, we will be more than happy to assist you and do that assessment for you. Thank you.